Tuesday, June 28th. All had a look at the agenda. Move that we approve it.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Doesn't appear like we have any public comments. If anyone wanders in, we'll sure recognize them. Unfinished business, the Marina dock replacement update.
We just need to do the approval of minutes first.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Dock update.
Docks, the project is substantially complete. There's still some bumpers that the contractor needs to install. They're back ordered like everything else in the world. But that's the only thing that's remaining. Docks are being used and haven't had any issues, so.
Saw you recently got some tighter caps.
Yes,
Quite a few were missing
yes.
years ago.
So interestingly enough, all of the original caps were purchased by the contractor through West Marine, which people who boat are familiar with.
Sure.
We found caps on Amazon that actually fit. And Katie ordered several sizes, one of each, and went, oh my gosh, these fit perfectly. So we ordered a bunch more to replace the ones that were missing.
Materials expanding and contracting at different rates.
The
I think they'll be good through the winter as well.
Well, the truth is that the pilings that were installed are a little bit unique diameter.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit thicker than what we had specified, because at the time, that was all the manufacturer could provide. And we accepted it because it's a heavier steel, it'll last longer, but it changed the OD, the outside diameter of the piling,
Right.
and then it was in between normal cap sizes. So I think we've tried to do some silicone with them, we tried double-sided sticky foam tape, we've tried a variety of different things. The right size is the best size, so we should be good.
Good. It looks nice when they're on there. Who's ready to talk about the Marina marketing plan?
I haven't heard anything from Mark since he did his presentation to us.
Last time, yeah.
They wanted to put some more information, I thought, on the city website.
Well, he was supposed to write up kind of a plan and a staged proposal for us. We haven't seen that.
When's our next meeting?
The 19th, July 19th. Somebody want to reach out to him before that point, or?
Sure, I will. Do you want to? I will.
Okay.
Any new information on the patio?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
So, working with my staff and Katie, I let them know that it was in this year's budget that I needed to get the materials purchased. So they have ordered, and we're expecting to receive this week, patio pavers, and we're going to install we're gonna build that patio in July, essentially.
At one time, I thought we were talking about pouring it.
There was, Spicer did a report that had 4 or 5 different options, and looking at the money that was budgeted, looking at the ease of construction, looking at the whole thing, we're gonna go with the pavers. It'll be easy to maintain, they'll accept some drainage through them a little bit. You know, won't be 100% impervious, and we can get in and get out of there. And
City staff
But
gonna.
yes, that's our plan.
What'll be between the pavers?
We are purchasing a special base material and then a filler material that goes between them for the manufacturer's recommendations.
The base material, you mean, gravel, sand?
It's a specialized material, because we have diamond dust on hand and they recommend it. I don't remember what it was called, but it's a different stone mixture.
Some of them, what's between them is sort of water activated. Almost, it's not that.
I don't believe that's what this is, no. So it's been talked about for a long time,
It has.
but I'm anxious to get it in.
Are we gonna be able to add any lighting to that area?
I haven't looked into that.
We had some low-level lighting for security reasons, if nothing else, and also make it more inviting to boaters to sit in there and eat.
Sure.
Have we budgeted?
All the money we've saved now by the papers, we can use that to.
I'm within a couple $100 of the budget, so, but we're sitting good.
Okay.
Does that include any furniture for out there?
It doesn't, but I'll work some of that in.
Great.
The harbor dredging.
So the Corps has told me that they should be dredging, I believe it's late this summer, July, August. And they are updating their discharge permit with the state of Michigan to place material north of the public beach. In conversations with them, when we had the high water, all the residents along Dunes Drive were very concerned that the sand was eroding and getting up close to their property lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's all city property. Nevertheless, I understand their concerns, so I asked for some of that beach nourishment to be done. And the Corps said that that's how they had preferred to place it in the past, and but for quite a few years they had been placing it south, and there were some property owners to the south that had objected, so they were actually putting it out a couple contours. I believe it at the 10-foot contour deeper. So anyway, that should be happening this summer.
I haven't voted north yet this. People still have step ladders to get down over the ledge in front of their.
I have not been down there. I know there's a lot of fish though.
If you want to get away from the crowded public beach, that's nicely groomed.
Yes.
It's a little south.
Yep.
Breakwater update.
So the Corps just accepted bids on that a couple weeks ago. Their low bidder provided 2 different options. One was an option for construction this fall, and the other was construction in the spring with a late summer completion. They asked for the city's opinion, and I provided, I requested that they approve a fall construction this year, and for a couple different reasons. Number one, the city has a project planned and it is currently being designed to repave all of the loop road, Lakeshore Drive at First Street Beach. And then to re-lay out parking spaces, incorporate the new 20 parking spaces the hotel's gonna provide, and also repave the lower parking lot at First Street. And we plan on doing that early next spring prior to the hotel opening. So, and we're paying for that through brownfield tax captures from the hotel project itself. So, almost all of it is a result of that development. It's very positive. If they are still occupying that parking lot in the spring for their staging, then we won't be able to do that parking lot at the time. So there's a conflict there. The other thing is, if they begin work in the spring, then they'll be occupying the breakwater during the 4th of July, and we would have to find a new location to set the fireworks off.
Right.
So they are, the Corps agreed and is trying to process it. The only thing that could push it into the spring now, from my understanding, is if they can't get the contracts completed in time to allow for the summer fall construction. But that needed work is on its way, so.
Have the fireworks ever originated from anywhere other than when they have the last 20 years?
I remember as a kid they were over Manistee Lake.
Remember that once?
The one fallback that we have is where they shoot the fireworks off, and depending on the size of the shells that they use, that determines the size of the safety zone that has to be put up. And probably 15, 20 years ago, the Forest Festival used some larger shells than what they use today. And we have kept the safety zone the same. So we're over safe, right? It's oversized, but that also means that we could move the firing point to the shoreline if necessary. So if the project occurs next summer, then I'll just have to work out, some other options. They may be able to do it from a barge or something. Not my barge, no.
Oh, too small.
Too small.
Boy, that'd be magnificent. The hotel dining room would be a magnificent place to watch the fireworks from.
Oh, absolutely.
One of these days. Okay. Harbormaster Report.
Well, I kind of just gave all my stuff, but
Oh, I thought it was just fun, the money.
Just looking at the minutes from last month, I talked about the land conversion between Fricano's and new. What we're proposing is a 1 acre piece down at 9th Street Boat Launch. There's a series of steps. We've been meeting every 2 months with the DNR. There's 2 appraisals that have to be done on both parcels. There's a SHPO review that has to be done, and the state doesn't provide those anymore. You have to hire a consultant to do those. And then we would need to update we have environmental reports on the full 10 acres we bought from Morton, but we would have to update that a little more specifically to the 1 acre. So in discussions with the city manager, we decided to wait wait until we get our scoring for the North Riverwalk grant from the DNR. And once we receive that scoring, we're either gonna get the grant or not get the grant, then we can proceed further with that conversion.
Rumors abound in this town. I try to squelch them every time I can.
Yeah, and I honestly, I explained it at our last Harbor Commission meeting. The newspapers used what I said in this meeting for several articles on it, which they did a nice job reporting that accurately. The agreement with Fricano has expired, so there is no current agreement.
Okay.
And I believe the anticipation is if the city council still is interested, then, and after those appraisals and stuff are done, then, you know, that transaction could still happen. I saw on Facebook that it was reported I used the $20 million for the sewer expansion to do this. It has nothing to do with it. Incidentally, we're probably 45 days from completing the pipeline, the new pipeline to the plant, and the plan is probably within 2 weeks of being ready to operate and take the flows. So next couple months, that project will be substantially complete. When Mr. Fricano approached the previous city manager about that property, I mean, most of the property that was proposed to be acquired by Fricano used to be leased to that building for the deck. And that's gone on since I was in high school. I remember building the deck when I worked at the city marina. So, or college, not high school. So the land has really been occupied for all these years anyway, so the city just didn't see any harm in it. When the National Park Service got involved and said, oh, but there were grant proceeds used to buy that, that's when it got complicated. So yeah, I'll just keep you updated on that as it
Joe, is the, are still looking at ways to improve the 9th Street boat launch?
So there hasn't been a lot of discussion on it recently. From really the boat launch to the south, directly east of the transformer station, that's still owned by Consumers Energy. But the launch all the way up to and including the treatment plant is all city property now. So when I was the city's engineer of record, I had applied for and received 2 grants to improve that. And the plan that we had done included building a different boat launch, replacing the boat launch itself with a port-in-place deck on it, and a new skid pier, adding parking for cars, but also for car trailers, putting a restroom facility there, and then putting a linear walkway along the shoreline with pile-supported fishing platforms. Right now, everybody kind of tucks in between the trees, and if you're familiar with the water there, it's almost a 1-on-2 slope. So about 50 foot out, you're 30 foot deep. It gets deep real fast. So there's a lot of opportunity for fishing. When we received the grants, we got one from the DNR for boating access site. That was a 50-50. And then we received a grant from the Great Lakes Fishery Trust, and that's no match, but that improves access to the migratory species of fish. So that would have done some of the parking, the walkway, the fishing platforms, and the bathroom. But at the time, the city didn't control the property, so after it was reconsidered, the money, the grants were given back and the project didn't proceed. If we proceed with this conversion, we will have to put together a site plan with future improvements on it, and I would work with the Parks Commission then to kind of come up with a vision and include the Harbor Commission too, since it's a boating access site.
I know for a while there was a push or encouragement to improve access for kayaks. Maybe we should take a look at what they're doing up on the
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
we've designed those before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might,
So we,
not only that, but it would be, I think, inexpensive to store, to construct kayak and canoe storage down there. And perhaps we could rent space to people. Not everyone has pickup trucks. They could lock up their paddle boat down there for the season.
yeah, that's all stuff that we should look at when we're planning that out. We had tried to put one at Arthur Street when we did Arthur Street, but the launch and the fishing platform were just too close, and to add that third element would have made it too congested. And there's also a lot of varying opinions. The neighborhood wants it to stay the way it is. There's kids down there nonstop every day fishing and swimming. You know, some people are afraid it would become a pay site, and so we'll just have to go through and kind of program out what would be best for that parcel.
Yeah, it's low maintenance right now. It doesn't cost you a lot, I don't think.
It does. There's a lot of vandalism down there. There's a lot of vandalism.
Like torching your wooden house. Okay.
One other point. The highest use of that site is winter.
Ice fishing,
There's usually 20 to 30 vehicles down there
This is pretty crowded.
accessing the lake because it's flat. It's right there. You know, so I don't want to lose sight of that either, because it's very heavily used. What else here? Anything else?
How are the rentals at the marina?
So, I apologize for Katie not being here, but it was pretty slow up until, a week and a half ago. Now the transients are picking up, reservations are picking up, and we can kind of see that forecast. So business is picking up quite a bit. Fuel sales the gas prices are very, very high there, but we're still filling those tanks. I think it's about every 3 weeks. And I see the Princess has started making trips. So, in all the years that I've been involved and been around that marina, usually the 4th of July is when you start to see business. It's a little bit earlier this year. They had a good weekend last weekend with the salmon tournament in town, but there was also a bass tournament, and that brought a lot of boats and a lot of customers. So we're fully staffed down there. The new sweatshirts and t-shirts just came in for the staff last week. So we also have been providing some equipment down there and getting the employees to do more ground maintenance while they've got time to do it. And I think Katie was a wonderful hire as a DPW clerk, but she's been a tremendous asset at the marina as well. She knows her way around it, and has done good training with the staff, and I'm very pleased with that.
I stop in to check on them, but I haven't caught her there. The kids see. They don't have any. I think one question they said, we advertise Wi-Fi, internet access. They said it can be spotty towards the end. Do we need booster or better equipment?
I'll have our IT person look at that.
And on their list of features offered, I thought maybe we could add, a couple of the kids indicated that once the shuffleboard equipment goes out, people go, oh, you have shuffleboard, and more people want to use it. So maybe we could add that to the list, and maybe the dog area as well.
Oh, to put it on the list?
Yeah, next time it's printed,
Okay.
just a thought. So we have the boat launch revenue here. I haven't really digested it. Has anyone gotten a good look at it? I think we're lagging a little from.
It looked like
3 years.
May, yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like a good May compared to last year. Last two, oops, that's not the right one.
I think it's just how, when the information is gathered too, because last year's preseason was a lot higher than this year's, you know, so I think it's just when it comes in. So it's probably really around the same, and she would be getting the June information now, you know, at the end of the month, so I can get that to you for next month.
Yeah, you kind of just have to take it as a cumulative and.
Okay. Well, I hope it warms up and we have a good year. I don't think the gas prices are gonna help us much.
They're not gonna change a whole lot.
That's not gonna be in our favor.
No, no.
Bother the sailors.
Are you proposing we become just a sailboat, Marina?
Well,
Take out the stink boats?
I think that we could do more to bring sailors to Manistee, but I don't know how to go about it. I've tried it by conversations across the lake with boat clubs and sailors that basically, but they're an independent lot, and it's hard to herd cats, you know. Nobody wants to. The cruising part for a sailor is different than a powerboat because of time involved and weather dependency and all those things. So it's a different group. I kind of miss it myself.
Don't doubt it. We have any new business?
On that same subject, maybe Mark, if he gets involved in this, can do something to, one of the biggest opportunities we have is the boats coming back from the MAC races.
Right.
And perhaps something could be done to support invitations to that group, either by shopping specials in town and restaurants or whatever, to try to increase that people, because it's a kind of a natural stopover on the way back. They have a choice of the 3 ports here in the county, and this would be the best one for them because there's more available within walking distance. So it could be promoted, I think. Probably the easiest thing to do, and cooperate with get the Chicago Sail Club to help us out or something.
It's a good idea. Interest, it sounds like we have one application come in for a vacant seat.
Sign 'em up.
Her?
Or ready, willing, and able.
It seems like it would be nice if we could, if there's someone has been involved in sport fishing, but isn't necessarily busy during our meetings, you know, to get that focus involved. Because they certainly use the harbor as much or more than anybody else. It would be a good perspective. So maybe someone who's phased out of the business, turn it over to someone younger, might be convinced. I don't know who that would be.
I just found out about that Manistee County Sport Fishing Association, reading about the tournament this weekend.
Uh-huh.
They seem pretty active, so somebody, yeah. I would be surprised if somebody from there wouldn't want to be.
You would think,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got some contacts that are pretty high up in that organization. I can just have them pass it around and see if somebody would be interested.
How does that work? We can have one person who's not a city resident, is that?
I believe 2 can be non-residents. They just have to own a business here in Manistee, so.
I've got to say, now that the shoreline is armored, people are even less interested in throwing no wake. And a lot of the signage has disappeared. Any more going back up?
I wasn't aware any of it was gone.
I don't think we have it. There used to be one on the end, which I didn't really think was a good spot, but on the end of one of the docks on First Street. I don't think it's there now. The one on the base of the old sand pier disappeared over the winter. I don't know about others. But I know we didn't use them last year. And I think you thought you probably would need to replace them over the years.
I think ordered those signs and then we installed them, so that had to be at least 2 years ago
Okay?
since we put them in.
Yeah. You didn't use them all. So they're over the garage somewhere.
I won't commit to that.
Okay.
No, not that they're not at the garage, but that we didn't use them all.
A prominent place to put one might be on. Which is, yes?
Well, my notes in the minutes, it says when it's stabilized, but
That will be never.
it's on our, oh no, that'll stabilize. That grass is doing well, actually.
I know. So are the woodchucks. We've never had there before.
It's not my department.
Animal control.
Yeah, we have a new species on the riverbed that I've never seen in 23 years, woodchucks. Maybe feral cats kept them away, I don't know.
They're big. The woodchucks, my cat wouldn't touch it.
No. Anyway,
Is the, for, go ahead.
I was gonna say, they're really cute in those commercials.
yeah.
Geico, I think. Quit checking my wood.
They're cute. They're destructive.
Yeah,
They burrow.
as well as chipmunks.
Yeah. Okay. We have no public comments.
The only other thing I will say is the alewife die-off is pretty extreme right now.
Yeah,
If you remember when we had high water, it seemed like the erosion would wash all the vegetation in the water, and it all collects on the beaches because we've got a nice clean slope. So same thing's happening with the fish. We're cleaning them 7 days a week right now, at least off the scum line and the shoreline. And sometimes we have to go back at the end of the day as well. It's just a matter of where the wind's blowing and every time it shifts direction. But in speaking with some boaters, they said that there's just big floats of them out in the lake.
thick.
There's more in the lake than there is on the shore.
Yeah, right.
So. I remember as a kid I dug my way through a 3-foot berm of them
Oh my
into
God.
the water. With my mom screaming at me the whole time.
Well, I read that they're trying to get the invasive carp species, promoting that as an edible. And if they could do that with the alewives, that would solve that problem.
Well,
Yeah,
you go online and see how to cook them.
I read that, and they're going to do it by changing the name.
Yeah. That would be the first step, right?
They are a
It's a
hair.
rebranding.
Yeah, it said that there's eaten around the world, everywhere but in this country.
I know Mr. or Dr. Payne
Yeah,
is working on upgrading his marina. Sings has a barge down there.
right.
I know that the Edgewater condos are still planning to put docks in below the condo there. What else? What else would be of interest?
Development of the peninsula, with that, and whenever.
I've heard no word on that except for the ironworks. They're still planning development there, but
Yeah.
things are kind of slow.
A great idea, which never got off the ground, but in the small town in central Ohio, they converted a factory that was, I don't remember who it was, but anyway, they made it into a museum, industrial museum. And also included that was a tribal area for the central Ohio tribes. And it would have been a great idea 30 years ago when I started thinking about it, to do that with that building. It could have been an industrial museum because of the significance of that industry to Manistee, but also to the state. And then with the tribal issue there, and then the Milwaukee and the Coast Guard, those could have been incorporated into that shoreline, among other significant marine stuff. Anyway, it was a great idea, so it probably won't ever happen now, but anyway.
We had, I don't know if any of you recall, but we had done preliminary layouts and preliminary design for what we call the Basin Marina,
Oh, yeah.
just across from the Coast Guard station. And I gone through the cost estimates and did a wave study on it. And part of that project, actually, when we were reviewing it with the DNR, they proposed putting a salmon museum
Oh, wow.
at that site, because this is one of the birthplaces of the salmon and coho. And at the time, I can't remember the DNR biologist that was kind of in charge of that whole program, but at the time, the family wanted to take a lot of his pictures and all, artifacts and
Right.
stuff and have a place to memorialize all that.
Maybe we should have a small area in the marina lobby area to recognize the significance of the salmon. Wouldn't take up much room to do that, and it would be pretty interesting.
Well, what just popped into my head as you were talking is the Waterworks building on First Street.
Yeah.
The museum is moving all their stuff out of there and vacating that. And personally, I think it would make a really awesome restaurant or a distillery.
Yeah,
With
for sure.
the open floor in the center. But it even could house a
Could be a part of it,
museum
yeah.
like that, or do it in combination or something.
Yeah.
Who owns that building?
The city,
No immediate plan?
just putting a roof on it. Dry. We've had some conversations with the Economic Development Office and about maybe seeking interest from developers into, doing a long-term lease or acquiring it or something, but it's a cool structure.
Yeah, been in a long time. Comments from the commissioners?
I forget the Fricano's sale, he was doing that to just, so he doesn't have to lease anymore, or he's gonna expand his deck or modernize it?
I think it was a combination of the two. I think it was, the first conversation was, well, I'd rather just acquire it than
Yeah,
lease it.
deal with it every year.
And then I think he wanted to add more, a little larger footprint on it so that he could possibly expand that deck
Mhm.
but at a minimum, be able to landscape down below it and so forth. And then he had or discussed, I don't know if that's in the final plan, to actually put a entry or walkway down to the marina level. So, I don't, Kelly, have you heard anything about a proposed opening date for that?
No, I just looked today. I know they had some hiring events just the last few
Yeah.
days, so I mean, I think it's,
And I saw a post that their pizza ovens came late last week.
It's looking close, yeah.
So it's gotta be close, but I think that's gonna help our marina business as well.
Yeah.
I really do.
The building is close, and all the appliances are in. Staffing and training. So it could be in 2 to 3 weeks. It looks really nice. They do have steps a quarter of the way down to the marina. But, yeah.
This catamaran race coming up, what's the organization and the dates? Is that advertised somewhere?
Well, it's a club.
Oh, yeah?
It's the Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I'll look it up.
Graham, if you type that in, they have a schedule of their internal events,
Okay.
and Manistee is one of those. I don't know if we've got that.
I have the dates. I can send them to you if you'd like me to.
Okay, yeah, I'll look it up. I'm curious, that's all.
In the past, what we did was, because I was involved with, we did the Grapes on the River that the chamber had, the wine tasting, and the downtown sidewalk sale, and Cram were all on the same weekend.
Yeah.
The chamber's not doing the wine anymore. I don't know about the DDA sidewalk sale. But my opinion, and I helped to encourage Cram to come, because I just thought seeing the colors and seeing them race out on the lake just adds another cool feature for anybody who's here, and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they just utilize a very underutilized portion of that park. They're extremely respectful and clean up after themselves.
Gives people another reason to hang around and watch and do something.
Yeah, they've had poor weather the last 2 years,
Mhm.
but they love being here and
Yeah.
the site that they're on.
Yeah.
And the ease to get to the water in the inside the pier heads
Yeah.
is very safe, and yeah, they love it. But we literally drop off a few cones, a fire pit ring,
And that's it.
and a couple garbage cans, and then we pick it up on Monday, and
Pretty easy.
it's pretty easy.
Porta potties.
They order their own, and then they offer everybody in their group, if they want to use showers at the city marina, they have to pay the city like a $10 fee or something
Yeah.
like that for the weekend. But I don't think many of them take us up on that.
No, it seems to be very self-contained.
Yeah.
Hope for better weather.
There's a ton of people down at First Street now, though. All the vendors and,
As far as bringing sites, I remember early in my stay here, 23 years, there was a group of volleyball players on the beach. They set up stands and everything. I don't know what that was.
it was the Bud Light tour. And they used to come and play a weekend, and they'd go to another beach and play a weekend, and
It was fun watching.
yeah.
We can get them back sometime.
I never
Okay.
had any of
No problems with the Princess security? He's happy with everything?
Haven't had any issues.
Yeah,
He broke an upright off the gas dock
yeah.
once, but I haven't heard any issues at all.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have been as crowded so far this year as I remember it last year, but it's early and it's been cool. Yeah. If there's no more comments, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And it said the 19th of July we're back?
Yes.
Super. So reach out to the Sport Fishing Association.
Yeah, I will.
That would be good.
George, I'll get those dates and I'll also find the link.
Yeah, I appreciate it.